What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Duntown Show. It's just me tonight. The original, the OG, doing it by himself. Scheduling was a little bit tight tonight. I'm pretty busy in the later evenings, and the guys were just getting off of work and doing what they had to do, so we were unable to meet up this week. We should have the whole crew next week again. At least DNG, possibly Steel Valley if he's in town. He's been working in and out of town a lot, guys. Let's jump right into it tonight. I'm going to try and make this a quicker episode. Starting off, guys, Kansas City fans, they're outraged. They're saying that the refs did not call false start on the Eagles tush push. Now, is the tush push dead? That's a little bit of what I wanted to talk about tonight. Obviously, it's not dead for the Philadelphia Eagles. They're going to continue to run that play. They're going to literally run it into the ground. The thing about it is, it's starting to catch a lot of attention by like even people outside of football, as far as like they've never played or they're just announcers or like podcasters and stuff like that are kind of watching it, and they're kind of getting a little burnt out on the play. I'm anxious to know what other people's opinions are about it. Personally, it didn't bother me, to be honest. But now I kind of feel like it's a weird play, and I feel like they're having a hard time officiating it, because if you do watch the center, it's almost like his two guards, they have it down packed to where they know right when the ball is going to be hiked. But since they do it and everybody muddles right in the middle, right out the gate, you don't really see the false start. But there were a few times that if you go back and watch the replay, Kansas City is definitely right on that. There is definitely a false start. And then one of the tush pushes being unsuccessful. And then the second one, they actually had to bring in the new laser or whatever it is, the signal line that sees whether the ball was on an actual first down or not. So now it's kind of getting down to that wire where I don't know if that play is going to be the future for the Eagles. I'll bet you this is the last year they do it, by the way. I heard something like 22 out of 32 teams tried to get rid of the play. None of the other teams, from what I can tell, really run that. But what I will say is I feel like they all have like their quarterback sneak, or like they have their little plays they use, but none of them are as drastic as this. I did see a report too where a couple of the offensive linemen, they really dread doing the tush push. They said it puts a lot on their body. They got to go super low and they got to like drive forward, because if they just stop, it creates a blockage. They're really good at it, and they do their thing. I mean, Drew Brees, he used to jump and extend his arms like over the goal line, and that was kind of his little signature sneak. Even though teams tried to shut it down for years, he was still able to manage and pull it off. But that I feel was different, because it's not like you have another 8-9 guys grabbing you and pushing you into the few guys that are in front of you and forcing yourself through the first down. On the flip side, if I'm a Philly fan and I like the play and it works, hey, let it ride, dude. Come up with a way to stop it. I mean, I could see if they were running it on every fourth down or third down, every goal line, everything, like to where you're not utilizing receivers or running backs for pretty much any of the critical play of your game. Yeah, it's going to get really boring really quick. I mean, even if you do continue to win, we like to see the ball flying through the air. We like to see a lot of receptions. We like to see the ball get ran. Saquon Barkley is phenomenal. You shouldn't really need a tush push when you got Saquon Barkley. You know what I mean? And just the whole team as who they are is better than that. And I think that's a lot of people's complaints. Like Jalen Hurts, don't get me wrong, dude. He's one of the strongest quarterbacks, if not the strongest quarterback in the weight room in the NFL. I mean, the dudes could easily be a running back or anything of that, powerhouse, that stature. He's got the muscle, he's got the strength, he's got I guess, the speed, so to speak. But I don't know. They found something with the tush push, so we'll see. Obviously, the Chiefs fans aren't used to being 0-2, so it was interesting for that to be a Super Bowl type rematch and see the type of blame the ref type stuff that came out of some of the Kansas City fans. Not all of them. A lot of them were still pretty cool about it. But I understand how that could definitely could be an issue, guys. Other issues that we're running into right now, I'm going to go ahead and say this. Jake Browning, he has to step in for an injured Joe Burrow, who suffered a grade 3 toe injury. It looks like he has turf toe to a pretty severe extent. It is going to require surgery, maybe out the rest of the season, guys. He might not come back. He's looking at a minimum of 3 months. I mean, would you really want to bring him back in at the very end anyways? Unfortunately for Joe Burrow, he's had these kinds of season injuries or ending injuries in the past, so I know it's tough, but I do think the Bengals should stick with them. I think there's something left to be given, which is kind of odd because I look at a lot of the other quarterbacks and like once they go out or once they go down, dude, like like dude, this guy's not coming back. He's not going to be the same. I hate to say it, I seen it in Derek Carr. When Derek Carr had taken the Raiders pretty much all the way into like I think the wild card game or whatever it was when he was with the Raiders and he got that severe injury, neck injury. I never felt like Derek Carr was the same after that. I felt like he was a little scared. I seen it with Drew Brees when he first came back after he had a bad shoulder injury. But he kind of regained his momentum and did what he did. Some of these guys, man, they go out and it takes so much out of you. Got to think you're only in week 3, going into week 3. You're already out for the season. The recovery is going to be tremendous. The rehabbing is going to be tremendous. You're going to have to come back and rework and do all of this stuff. You're hoping that this Jake Browning can step in and maybe save your season to where maybe you have a little bit faster recovery than you thought you were going to have. And you could come back in and be like, all right, I got 4 weeks of regular season left. You know what I mean? But man, when they say 3 months, you're looking at around 12 weeks. You're already 2 in, 14. You got a bye week. Yeah, I mean, you might, if your season's going okay, which also makes me wonder if are they even going to want to put you in? Obviously, you're their star quarterback. But if Browning's doing a good job for you guys and Jamar Chase and these guys are continuing to ball out and you guys are having a decent season, I don't know that you're going to want to throw Joe Burrow back in there. Maybe save him for like a playoff situation, something like that. Brock Purdy with the 49ers, guys, speaking of turf toe, also has a turf toe. His is only a grade 2 and could be back in week 4. However, he doesn't look like he's going to play this weekend against the Cardinals. So he's, obviously to play it safe, knowing that you could come back within, a couple of weeks. I could see extending a little bit, especially with Mac Jones coming out, performing pretty well against New Orleans this last weekend. We'll get more into that game in a little bit, but yeah, honestly, not the end of the world for the Niners. But man, they're continuing to struggle with injuries over there. I forget who else was it. Juan Jennings, or one of them that went out again, this weekend. Obviously we've got Kittle out with the hamstring and C-Mac. He seems to every week there's some discussion about, is he 100% healthy or not? So we're going to keep an eye on that. With that being said, is it just happening more on the artificial grass or the real grass? We're having that issue tonight. We were going to talk about turf versus grass. So, personally, I've never liked turf. It's hot as hell when it's in the sun. When it gets cold, it gets rock hard like you're playing on concrete with the mat over it. It's super rock hard. We've installed a lot of turf in the college or in the high schools out in the Compton, LA area. I've been around the turf. It stinks, by the way. Especially the older systems that are in place. You see a receiver, somebody dragging their foot, and you see the little pellets flying up. They're little rubber pellets, and what those are is those are supposed to add a cushioning and a dampening to the playing field. And then when you wet, so there's these big sprinklers that will come on like hydrojets, and they soak these fields down because in the middle of the day, if you have an open air stadium or especially like a high school and you play that night, they are soaking that thing down because that adds a little bit of cush and it helps cool the field down. The problem is when it's freezing temperatures or it's really cold, even when you're in a dome and a lot of the pro fields have the heating element underneath, you're only able to get it up to a certain temperature, and then the players' bodies are only up to a certain. So when they hit the ground, you'll notice in a lot of games, guys are all bleeding and they're busted up on their elbows and everything else because they're grinding in the turf so rough. See, when you have real grass, you'll see, dude, nothing was better than old school dudes getting slammed in the ground and they come up and the running back has a giant chunk of grass sticking out of the front of his face mask, dude. You know what I mean? Like, hey, where are you going with that? We need that. You got to fill your divots, you know? And so a lot of that is still in play. Obviously, a lot of these teams are going to still have real grass. But right here, it's talking about 25% more injuries with non-contact injury due to fake grass. And you got to keep in mind that there's a lot of sports like soccer, other arena games, gosh, what else, dude, that are playing on turf now as opposed to real grass. I wonder, are any of the baseball fields turf? Someone answer that. I should have looked that up. That's interesting to know too, because outfielders and stuff like that are running and going, and there's a certain amount of give that you get from real grass, is what I'm reading on, and that's what makes the difference. That's why when they built the Raiders' new stadium in Las Vegas, that field, if you go on Google and you watch, that field actually slides out into the sun and it gets manicured and grown and everything out in the sunlight and then slidden back in, and they play on real grass inside the dome up there in Las Vegas for the Raiders. And that's why aren't all the facilities doing that? As much as we want to implement new technology and stuff like that into the NFL to make it viewer friendly or do this and that, there's some things I don't think we need to mess with. Okay, first of all, if you've got that much money, you want a brand new stadium and you want it state of the art, so you want turf so it looks beautiful all the time. That's great. But when your star quarterback or your star receivers or somebody on special teams or a kicker can't plant correctly because of whatever, keep in mind that you could have had the real grass system, and not only that, you could have employed people that are going to maintain it. You have grounds workers, you have stuff like that, so it kind of builds a little bit better team around your field. There's a little bit more pride in that field than some patch of turf that's starting to curl up and there's spikes hanging out of it and shit. These guys are tripping over it midfield. You ever see these guys that are running, they trip mid run, like what happened? Yeah, they're not allowed to talk about it. They come out after, hey dude, I tripped over a turf spike. Okay, you can fact check it. So what's your opinions? Comment below, guys. Let's get a little bit of this Smart Water. Shout out Smart Water. Not a sponsor. That's a good water. All right. We got a lot to cover, guys. Let's get right into it. So, over under, what do you guys like? Do you like the turf? Have you ever played on turf? What did it feel like when you first moved over to turf? Have you had turf burn? Do you prefer real grass? Maybe I'm full of shit. Maybe I don't know what I'm talking about, dude. It's a solo podcast. I have no team tonight. Okay. Whatever I say is facts because I have no team. Where you guys at? Okay. Moving on, guys. Week 2 results. Let's just get this over with right away. 13-6 was Aaron's score, Mr. DNG. I was 13-16. Sorry, I was 11-16. So again, he wins. He's 2-0 on predictions. I'm not going to be able to get his predictions over this podcast, this stream here to you guys. So I'm going to have him send me his, and I'm going to try and do a graphic. We're going to try and start doing a graphic and show days when Steel Golfing's here with us. It'll be 3 columns. When it's 2 columns, it's just D and G and I. And if it's just me, I'll put out my picks. But I'm still going to try and get his picks moving forward. But here's the results from week 2. Thursday night, guys, we started off with Commanders. They had 18 points. The Packers had 27. Jordan Love, 292 passing yards, 2 touchdowns. I think the Commanders have hit a wall. It's crazy, man. I picked the Commanders and the Bengals to go to the Super Bowl. Joe Burrow's out with the toe, and the Commanders are just shot out. I mean, so I hope nobody rode with that. And if you did, there's still time. So we're good. But Yeah, I don't know. I watched the game obviously, and it was just kind of like I expected it to be a little bit better game than it was. The Packers looked pretty damn good. One thing I'm hearing, Micah Parsons is happy to be there, loves to be a Green Bay Packer. Everything's great, but he does not want his playtime managed. Micah Parsons wants to be on the field at all times. He literally said, "If we're on defense, I should be in there." That's it. So hopefully they can make that adjustment. Maybe they're just giving him a little bit of, acquisition time. You know what I'm saying? They're just trying to get everything dialed in so that he can be an elite player, because I have a feeling he's going to have a nice long career with the Packers. If he gets traded within the next few years or something happens, then we'll clip this and we'll go back and we'll tell people how dumb I was for saying that. But if you're a Packers fan and you were watching and you've seen the energy and you see the post game and you see the stuff that's going on, he's not bad for your team. He's a good type of media. He's a good player. Could be one of the greatest. We're going to have to see how it goes. 49ers 26. 49ers 26. Saints 21. Close game. But mind you, 49ers had a lot of injuries. They're playing a second string quarterback. Mac Jones, 3 touchdowns, 279. Not bad for a backup. Not bad for being on the road. Not bad for playing in the New Orleans Stadium. Been a long time New Orleans fan, and trust me, that can be a difficult place for opponents to play. But nonetheless, they did get the win over the Saints. Kind of had a feeling going into it. Had to ride with them. I was impressed with a few things. I didn't like the Alvin Kamara caught a ball between his hand and his helmet and kind of went down. And I think Fred Warner, whoever came up with it, and they said that it was a fumble, but I watched it probably close to 30 or 40,000 times and didn't see the fumble. It's unfortunate that the other two hosts of the show couldn't be here tonight, being that they're both 49ers fans, but it kind of works out for me because that game was rigged. No, I'm playing. It wasn't. Decent game. I did have to suffer through it. I went out to dinner with my brother-in-law that evening, and he was in full Niner gear. So yeah, I got banged, brother. Moving on, guys. Jags 27, the Prince, he's back. But wait, Bengals still find a way to win, even though Burrow goes out. Lawrence did throw for 3 touchdowns with 271 yards passing. Jags still got a chance here. Shout out to the Bengals for getting it done. Backup didn't do much. The team just kind of put it on their back and was able to get the squeak out the win there. Giants, guys, Russell Wilson, we were ready to bench him. We were ready to start Russell Wilson or Jameis Winston and whoever their new rookie coming up. We were ready to do it, but we held out. We let Wilson go for 3 touchdowns, not to mention he throws an amazing pass for a touchdown with only a few, like less than a minute or so on the clock. However, Dallas does come back, guys, to tie that game up and then win in overtime. So, unfortunately, if you're a Giants fan, you thought you guys were back, you might be. Giants 37, Cowboys 40. Dak Prescott with 361 yards passing, 2 touchdowns, but he did throw an interception. So the score was a little closer because of an offensive error by Dak Prescott. Moving on, Bears 21, Lions 52. Looks like Goff goes ahead and throws for 334 yards and 5 touchdowns. He was the touchdown leader of the entire week. Lions, are they back? What's your guys' opinion? I get it. It was the Bears. Bears continue to only score 21 points. Looks like 2 weeks in a row. Caleb Williams, I think he had minus touchdowns. I don't even think he threw a touchdown. You can fact check that, but there's no need to. Rams 33, Titans 19. Matt Stafford with 2 touchdowns and almost 300 yards passing. So he's continuing to lay it down. He's continuing to do what he has to do. Rams are a sneaky team. Stay tuned because next week we are going to have standings. All right. You got to give them 3 weeks. Once they pass 3 weeks, you can start doing standings because there's a little bit of a gap there, and we'll go ahead and do that. I think they start bye weeks like in week 5. Um, we'll look at that, but yeah, Rams 33, Titans 19. Drake May, 230 yards, 2 touchdowns for the Patriots with 33 points, and the Dolphins continue to struggle with 27. Tua Tagovailoa, 315, 2 touchdowns, close game. Okay, very close game, 6 points. Not sure what's going to go on with the Dolphins. I think they're going to be similar now, probably to like I don't know, maybe like an 8 win season, unless something really changes and they really start to get rolling. We'll look at their opponent this week and see if maybe we want to ride with the Dolphins and see if we can help them get back into it. Give them a little bit of good juju, not Juju Smith-Schuster, but Bills 30, Jets 10. Jets are struggling, man. I didn't get to watch that game, but I believe they pulled Justin Fields out and they put in their backup. I don't even have his name written down here. Tough game for Josh Allen as well, though. I don't think he had any touchdown passes, but nonetheless, they scored 30 points. Let's see. You got Seahawks, Sam Darnold, who I think the Saints maybe should have tried to pick up. No disrespect to Spencer Rattler. Wouldn't have been bad to see him in the black and gold there because Darnold has 295 yards, 2 touchdowns. Seahawks 31. And the Steelers, what did the Steelers score? Oh, I'm not even sure. I wrote down 0. I think it was like 13, something like that. They didn't do too well. 1 touchdown pass for Rodgers, but he also threw 2 interceptions. I think the Seahawks might be back. Bad news for the Niners because I think they play them this week. Another thing, guys, that I noticed, as shitty as the Browns are supposed to be, it looks like they might end up being that bad. Bad news for the Browns. Bad news Browns is 17. Ravens 41. Lamar with 4 touchdowns and 225 yards passing. Lamar Jackson struggling to get the season off, but scoring a lot of points, and he's already doing MVP type stuff again this season. So are we going to see Lamar Jackson possibly become an MVP again? It's very possible, especially if he maintains his health. He maintains these high amount of touchdown passes. Of course, he's going to run a couple himself. Let's just keep it going. Keep Derrick Henry hot. Keep him healthy. Broncos 28, Colts 29. Indiana Jones is rolling. I don't think anybody had the Colts to take it other than Mr. DNG. We still got to get an actual opinion from Still Golfing, but I wrote them off in the beginning of the season. I didn't think they were going to go anywhere. Jones has other idea. 316 yards, 1 touchdown, moving right along for the Colts here. Broncos, Bo Nix, what's going on? Sean Payton, what happened, dude? You said, oh, I've only had 5 teams in my whole career that I thought could win the Super Bowl, and this is one of them. My ass. Bullshit. If the Saints didn't get banged and robbed out of 2 phenomenal playoff games, we would have went to at least 2 more championship rounds and at least 1 more Super Bowl, because you're going to go 50-50 if you're going to predict it. So we would have 2 Super Bowls right now if it wasn't for some bullshit calls and stuff like that. Speaking of our league, though, NFC South, the Panthers, they got 22 points, but they lost to the Cardinals, who had 27. However, Bryce Young, he's starting to look decent. 3 touchdown passes and 330 yards passing. Not bad for the Panthers as they continue to try and get better. With a very small quarterback, a young crew, they've got a great couple of rookies that they brought on. The one receiver is phenomenal. We want to go over here and look, guys. This was a Super Bowl rematch. We mentioned it when we were talking about Mr. Tush Push himself, but Eagles 20, Chiefs 17. Mahomes with only 1 touchdown. Not seeing a lot out of Kansas City this year, guys. I'm not sure what we have going on with that. Could just be a slow start. This could be part of the fairy tale. Haven't seen a lot of Taylor Swift. Haven't seen a lot of Taylor Swift on the sideline, dude. The fans ain't going nuts yet. You got to have like 2 or 3 wins. Have Kelsey have a game where he has about 3 or 4 touchdowns by himself. And then we'll be inundated with Kansas City Chiefs. But as right now, guys, we're moving along. We're not worried about that because they're 0-2. So they're last in their division for the first time since 2016 when Andy Reid first joined Kansas City. You can fact check the dates on that. Close enough. So moving on from them, you guys, Falcons 22, Vikings 6. JJ McCarthy throws 2 interceptions, comes off of a pretty good game against the Bears in his opening week, and then kind of lays an egg here. Michael Penix Jr. proving to be the better rookie, so to speak, considering JJ McCarthy didn't play last year. It looks like the Falcons are going to be a little bit better than maybe suspected, guys, which is another problem for me because being that they're in the NFC South, Buccaneers and Falcons could possibly. I have a feeling we may end up last in our division if we don't pull off. I would say we're going to have to pull off at least 6-7 wins down in New Orleans, which is still just a long, long season. Hijo de la chingada perra madre. Moving on, Falcons, Vikings. So Falcons are going to go ahead and take that. Again, here we go. Bucks, NFC South. They're going to be undefeated with 20. Texans 19. Baker Mayfield with 2 touchdowns. The dude was running the ball a lot himself. He's got to be careful. He doesn't want to get hurt. He'll battle through it. He'll play through injuries, but he's had a season-altering injury in college, and then he's had a couple of little problems here as a pro. You're getting older, bud. We're getting older, bud. You got to take it easy. You got to be careful. You got to protect your legs, but keep doing what you're doing. Find Mike Evans when you can, and go, baby, go. I'm going to have to ride the Bucks in our division this year, which is crazy to hear a Saints fan say that. You would never hear a 49ers fan say, yeah, bro, I'm going for the Rams this year, man. Fuck yeah, brother. Never. You'd never see it. But you know what? At the end of the day, I need the NFC South to do something for me. I'm going to have a Super Bowl prediction remix at about week 8. And if they're still doing good, they might get the nod by the kid. Chargers 20, Raiders 9. I tried to ride the Raiders. The Raiders were going to be my sneaky second team, you know what I mean? Well, which would be third team, because we all know I like the Bills. Okay, this isn't a Bills Blue. Is this a Bills Blue, by the way? I've been getting a lot of comments. Fuck, dude. Before you know it, it's going to go from black and gold to all blue and red and white. No, dude. No Patriots colors, no Bills colors, a little bit more smart water. Justin Herbert's playing really well. He really is. I tried to pull up his stats. They wouldn't give them to me. ESPN wouldn't release him unless you wanted to pay like $10 a month. And I'm like, I don't need the stats that bad, dude. I watched the game live. Thank you. Chargers are hot, dude. They're gonna win that division. I think by ease. As long as they again stay healthy, keep doing what they're doing. Keenan Allen, shout out to you, dude. Looking good. Got a touchdown right there in the beginning. I did have some money on Justin Herbert to go ahead and do a rushing touchdown. I had something boiling inside me that felt like he might have. It was plus $610 to win 60. I didn't do it, and he didn't do it. So we both didn't do it. No one did it. But moving on from there, Aaron, 13 out of 16. You're 2-0. And Tim, 11 and 16. I'm 0-2, but that's okay because the fantasy league I'm in, I've won now 2 weeks in a row. Thank you, Baker Mayfield. There's a shout out to a few other guys. I don't want to give out my whole roster in case you guys are playing those leagues where you do it every week. I'm not giving you the answer, bro. It's not going to happen, bud. Okay, with a comeback win against the Giants, did the Dallas Cowboys show that they're an actual powerhouse and that they won't be taken out? Any thoughts on that? Like, comment, subscribe. You can answer that question below. My opinion, Dallas didn't show me shit. As a matter of fact, with Dak Prescott throwing that interception, that kind of leads me to believe that that was 6 points going the other way. Ooh, excuse me. 6 points going the other way. I don't know. Wasn't a pick six. But at the end of the day, you got to clean that up. No interceptions. No need for overtime. And what are we doing, dude? What are we doing letting that guy catch that ball in the end zone? I don't care. Get pass interference if you have to. Have it on the 1 yard line. It is the distance, whatever. That's fine, but you let them walk all over you. That was great. They should have won the game. Dallas should have never had an opportunity to come back, but they created the opportunity and they won that game. So shout out to the Dallas Cowboys. No love lost there. Week 3 picks, guys. We're going to try and move through them pretty quick. I know you got a lot to do. I got a lot to do. Week 3 picks, guys. I have mine already pre-picked, highlighted here in green. So in case you don't believe me, there was your little sample there. If you're listening on any other platforms, I don't know how that's possible because we're only here on YouTube. So follow along here, guys. Plus 600 for the Miami Dolphins versus the Bills at minus 1,000. I'm taking the Miami Dolphins. Give me the underdog. Give me the plus 600. It's a week where the Bills need to win this game, but Miami, if you're gonna win a game at all out of the next blah blah blah, it has to be this game. I think it's very important game for them. I think Miami just started to find a little something. We're gonna see. Tyreek Hill, Tua, they're either gonna be a little bit. I haven't heard them in the media. They're not doing shit. So they're either gonna pop out and show you, you know, hit it this week, or you guys are done and dead. So I'll do $10 to win 60. I do like the Bills, however, but I'm taking Miami this week. That's Thursday night, guys. Don't miss it. It's on Prime, Amazon Prime Video. I know it's a bitch. I don't know if Stream East is back up. I don't know if you found any other websites that you can watch it on. But if not, you're going to go ahead and you're going to go to Amazon Prime to view that. Sunday, guys. Let's start it off here. The Packers versus Cleveland. Packers are minus 425. I'm taking the Packers. Cleveland are plus 320. I don't see it. I don't see a win there, even though it is in Cleveland. Packers are going to show up and show out. They're not worried about it. It's what they do. Minus 195 for the Colts. They are favored versus Titans. Titans are getting plus 165. Pretty close game. But you know what? At this point, I got to ride with Indiana Jones. He's won me over. So Daniel Jones, you're getting the nod. I'm taking the Colts versus the Titans, even though they're in Tennessee. We'll go from there. Bengals, underdog, plus 130. Because again, Browning's going to be filling in for Burrow for at least the next 3 months. And they're going to be playing the Vikings, who laid the egg this last weekend, at minus 150. So even though Vikings haven't played the best, they came back and won against the Bears, but now they're over here. Let's see what they can do. We're going to take the Vikings this week. They had better show up. Moving on, guys. Week 3, where we're at. We're picking games in week 3. If you're just joining us, minus 130, the Steelers versus the Patriots, who are plus 110. Not quite a pick 'em, but pretty close. You know what? I'm gonna ride with the Patriots. I kind of like what's going on over there with the quarterback. I like what I'm seeing with some of the receivers and some things. I think they can get a few guys hot that have been a little quiet. I don't want to say names because he said his, our BBL smells like a garbage can. Okay, the Rizla. Just keep up here, guys. We're moving along, so we're taking the Patriots. Rams versus Philly, Philadelphia, the Eagles. Eagles are hot right now. They got the tush push. They've got everything else, but give me Matt Stafford at plus 160 in Philadelphia, who's getting minus 190. You got to bet 190 to win 100. $10 on the Rams only gets you $16, but I tell you what, you throw down 100, the Rams win it, you get $160 with your money back. If that doesn't do it for you, you can go plus 250 for the Jets. They're playing the Bucks. That's our team right now. Fuck, we have like 6 different teams. We're trying not to cuss this episode. Jets versus Bucks. Bucks minus 300. Yep, we're riding the Bucks all day long. I don't think the Jets have it. I don't think the Jets are going to do it. As a matter of fact, I think the Saints might be battling the Jets for the worst team in the league this year. It's going to be a 1-2, probably do some trades. Saints get the number 1 overall pick. It won't be Archie Manning because he's not looking all that hot after all. We'll get into college a little bit more next week. Moving on, guys. Raiders versus Commanders. All right, Raiders, they're not looking good. Underdog, coming off of only a 9-point game, prime game versus the Chargers, who happen to show up and show out. The Raiders got to play the Commanders, who have also struggled a little bit as of late. So it's going to be a closer game. Commanders are getting the nod. I'm taking the Raiders, however, at the underdog, a plus 155, and we're going to ride it out from there. Commanders, you were supposed to be my Super Bowl team. You've kind of let me down here a little bit. It's been a shaky start to the season. I don't know if we've got the hangover of last year. I don't know what's going on. You got Marshawn Lattimore. He ain't shutting him down. You got Debo Samuel. He needs to put the fucking snacks down. Dude's looking chubby, dude. Put me in. Besides that, guys, we're going to keep on moving here. We're trying to wrap this up for you guys this week, okay? It's not going to be a long, strung out podcast, something a little more streamlined, something you guys can take some time, listen to, get on with it, get your picks in, and move on from there, guys. So, Raiders at command. Falcons versus Panthers, divisional game. Falcons are favored at minus 275. Panthers plus 225. I'm taking the Falcons this week. I like what I'm seeing out of the Penix Jr. Good enough. 105 plus 105 for the Texans versus the Jags. Jags are favored a little bit here. The Jags might be back, but I'm taking the Texans, and that's because I think CJ Stroud, he's ready for a win. I seen something out of him yesterday, and I could tell there was something bothering him. I think it lit a little something in that little eye of his is starting to glow a little. You know what I'm saying? There's something right there. If you want to make a little money, plus 105, maybe ride the Texans. I don't know, the Prince, the Jags, they're looking good as well. Need to get a few more people involved, like Christian Kirk and things like that. Maybe see what you can do with it. Broncos versus the Chargers. Chargers minus 145. Broncos plus 125. Give me the Chargers. Again, I apologize for riding the Raiders last week versus you guys. You guys proved me wrong. But hey, we're right here. Hand up accountability. We're back. We're taking the Chargers. This better not be the week they lose. Let's take a look down here, guys, at plus 300 for the New Orleans Saints versus Seattle Seahawks. Sam Darnold, is that Sam Darnold down there? Minus 400. Wow. So again, I'm taking the Saints because that's my team, plus 300. I'll put a couple $100 out there. If I lose it, I lose it. If I win it, bam. We're back just like that. Dallas, whoa, Dallas is favored minus 105. But wait, the Bears are also favored at minus 115, which means they don't know who's going to lose, but they know somebody's got to win. So let's take the Bears this week because I think it's time for them to squeak one out. And I think it's going to make Dallas feel like, wow, you know what? We do this, we do that, and then the Bears come in, who knows? You know what? We'll see what the nail polish has to say. Caleb Williams, if you're listening, shout out, like, comment, subscribe. Plus 105 for the Cardinals versus the 49ers, who are minus 125. They are favored. It's at home. Okay, it's in San Francisco. And again, Mac Jones will be running the show down there as Purdy comes back from a turf toe. I'm going to take the Cardinals only because the 49ers aren't 100% healthy and they just beat the Saints. So this is a little bit of here you go. Give me the Cardinals. Minus 275. The Chiefs are going to go ahead and be favored pretty good against the Giants, even though the Giants did play really well last week and Kansas City Chiefs did not. So I'm going to take the Giants. I just want to see if the Chiefs can go 0-3 and I can be right about it. We'll see what happens there. That will be in New York. So the Chiefs will be on the road for that one, guys. Monday night, plus 200 for the Detroit Lions versus Baltimore, who's minus 240. This is a great game. This is a really, really good game. If both teams play the way they're supposed to play, this should be a jam-packed, action-packed game. And for that being said, I'm taking the Lions. I think the Baltimore Ravens suffered their first loss as or not their first loss, but another loss as the Lions say, you know what? Wow, we're going to actually start to build momentum here and we're going to take on the Ravens and we're going to win. Monday night, Jared Goff puts on a show. Is it a must win for Kansas City? If Kansas City loses 0-3 and they're down and now you go into week 4 and depending on how you do in week 4 you're going to have to start to kind of climb, and I don't know that they have it in them to climb like that. You know what I mean? I know they do. I shouldn't say that, but it's going to be hard to come back. You're not used to it, and you've had to deal with a lot of that. And we'll see what happens. So yeah, we'll definitely have to keep an eye on that, guys. We're going to look at that. All of the stuff that comes out, any major injuries or anything that come off of week 3, I'm going to definitely have them in there for you guys next week. I know this isn't your only platform that you can watch. I know there's all the daytime shows, other podcasts, stuff like that, but I do really, really, truly, truly appreciate you guys that do tune in and watch the show, even if it's just for a certain clip or for certain information or just to see what's going on. It makes it fun for us to do it. It'd be hard to do it if we were getting 0 views every single week. So if I only get 5 views, it's honestly enough for me to put out another episode, and maybe hopefully one day something will catch on enough. Not doing it to get like super rich and famous and all this crazy stuff, but just so that, we have a little bit of a community. We can get maybe a couple of sponsors so I can do giveaways and be more engaged with the people that do view our show. And I want to know more topics and more ideas, especially like when football's off. Hey, you guys should talk about this kind of stuff. Maybe we should just be a little bit more free and open-minded and drop the whole. It's not a script, but I have a guideline. I like to use a guideline so that there's a flow to the show. If there's ever a minute where like we're stuck, like, oh, okay, whatever, because we're homeboys, we talk a lot, we have group messages and stuff together, we share a lot of things, so that's all texting and sharing. It's nice to come onto a platform and actually have like a quote unquote face-to-face conversation, even though you're at your house, I'm at my house, and then you as the viewer, because I know like all the podcasts that I listen to, I watch them. All my podcasts are on YouTube, at least probably 90%. And as a matter of fact, like I like to listen to First Things First, but I watch it on TV. I record it and I watch it in the evening or whatever. So I get the engagement. I want the engagement, you guys. But with that being said, now that you've liked, you've commented, you've subscribed, you've told your friends, you've done everything we can do, let's move forward. I do have some MLB standings here. And of course, that's going into tonight when I'm recording. So this is coming out to you guys on Wednesday. This was coming into tonight, Tuesday, guys. American East, the number 1 Blue Jays, they're 5 games ahead of the Yankees right now. So it looks like they're pretty much going to either clinch that division or whatever the case may be. Central, you got number 1 Detroit Tigers. They're 7 games ahead of the Cleveland Guardians. The West, number 1 Seattle Mariners are tied with the Houston. The Astros, do they still cheat or no? Okay, I think we ask that every week. National East, the Phillies have clinched the division and the Mets are 14 games behind. So the Phillies drastically pulled away with it this year. What are your guys' thoughts, dude? Do they still have Bryce Harper? I'm the worst when it comes to baseball, but I wanted to get you guys updated, because what if some of you guys are just football fans and that's why you listen, but you were wondering. So National League Central, Brewers have clinched a playoff berth and the Cubs sit 5 games behind. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine being a Cubs fan and being like, fuck, dude, we're 5 games behind the Brewers, bro? And then in the West, the number 1 Dodgers haven't clinched shit yet, just saying. 2 games ahead of the Padres. The Padres were looking good though. So if you're a Dodgers fan, you might want to watch out, because my Angels have already been eliminated. So it's a little hard for me to continue to grind on MLB, but I'll do it. I'll do it for the viewers. I'll do it for you guys. We will be covering all of the playoffs and wild cards and stuff like that, and at least keeping you guys updated on that, guys. This Saturday, I'm not sure if any of you guys golf. If you're in a league, great. If you're not, you're just starting out, you want to get into golf. This Saturday, I'm in a tournament with our chapter from the MGA Tour. They're the OC MGA. That's who I play with. But you can head over to the MGA Tour and start reading all about it and get yourself situated to join the league this next year coming up, guys. Our season's about to end in October, and then we have a championship in November up in Las Vegas. After that, it's already being worked out for the first tournament of the year that I want to say is like roughly January. I could pull it up on the schedule. But nonetheless, you're going to have to be set up and at least have maybe reached out to a chapter to say, hey, whatever, and then show up on the date of their first tournament. A lot of the chapters do like a meet and greet, bring a friend, tell a friend, shake a hand, make a friend type tournament. We do ours down in Long Beach, and it's pretty fun. It's the bum wine tour, and you can invite guests and stuff and see if they want. That was the first one I ever did. I loved it. If you followed all my podcasts, you know a little bit more about that. So yeah, this weekend though, guys, nonetheless, head over there, check it out, see if you want to join for next year coming up, the 2026 season. But this Saturday for us, the MGA Tour, Orange County Douchebag Invitational, guys, it's a 10 a.m. start, and it's at La Mirada Golf Course. There's 19 players right now, so not the biggest group. I mean, there's been weekends where there's like 32, 34 guys. A lot of times we have probably right around like, well, I don't know, what would you guys say, 24, 28? Comment below about our averages there. This La Mirada Golf Course, so the weather looks great. Looks like we should have good weather. Any rain or whatever should hopefully have passed. 6,083 yard par 70. And they actually have a few awards. They've been nominated top, 5 or top 10 golf courses several years in a row. They have real nice open rolling fairways. There is some lake and water hazard type stuff. Their signature hole on their website says that the 10th hole is the signature hole. It's a par 4, 364-yard hole, and the lake actually protrudes out into the left side of the fairway. So you're going to have to either drive that or hit it out right and then work your way back. So that already sounds pretty fun. Like I said, par 70. So that should hopefully be a fun course. The 19 guys that are going, I'm sure we're going to have a blast. We've actually all played together pretty much in really hot weather. I know it's rained on us really good. I think one year when we were at, I want to say maybe Fullerton, it dumped on us pretty good. We've had windy days, so a little bit of everything. The league's pretty well versed. Shout out Kenny. Keep doing what you're doing, man. Enjoy being a part of the league. It's funny because not all of the other chapters go through, like in the post round ceremony, they don't go all, like if there's going to be top 15 or whatever it is that day, 16, whatever, they just throw the checks on the table. I mean, shout out IEMGA. I'm talking about you guys because you guys just threw the check, which is fine. I get it. You don't want to sit up there and go over every single little thing, but shout out to Kenny because he does the whole layout. And Terrence there with the banner, and we can take pictures, because what are the chances if I never win, right? I never win a big check, or I'm never like in the top 3 even, which is a possibility. You still get to be involved. You're like, okay, fine. I got the red key, or I got, a long drive, or I got closest to the pin, or long putt, or whatever the case may be, dude. And at least you get to go up, and like a lot of guys probably would rather not. I get it, dude. Okay. I'm a shy guy myself, dude, to be honest. But with that being said, I like it, dude. It adds a little bit more involvement. It makes everybody kind of like, you get to heckle each other a little bit, and it's funny, that little stupid little check with like 0.13 cents or whatever on it, or whatever it may be. It's fun. So I don't know, hoping to go low this weekend. Mr. DNG, unfortunately, he's going to be on a trip, so he won't, not like on shrooms or nothing, but he's going to be out there. I'm sure he'll be cloud surfing anyway. And, but Mr. Steel Golfing and myself will be showing up to the tournament. And yeah, we're planning to put it down a couple of pretty decent scores, if I don't say so myself. Been working on a few things, you know what I mean? Trying to get that speed back, dude, huh? So, all right, guys, make sure you like, you comment, you subscribe. Again, thank you so much for the support. Really appreciate it. We should be back with the whole crew next week. If not, I'm going to try and squeak you in another episode. We'll see you on the next one, guys. Later.